Hey, it's Colton Lindsay here, financially free by the age of 32. And today I'm going to be watching some videos by Ryan Pineda. So go ahead and watch with him. But if you're new to the channel, go ahead and subscribe right now so you don't miss all the videos coming up. But let's stay tuned. Let's get into it.
There are 3 pillars to becoming wealthy. Most people only use one vehicle and they end up wealthy from this, but if you combine all 3, then you're super wealthy. Vehicle number 1, business. Become a great entrepreneur, everything else. The second way you become wealthy, becoming an investor. There are some people who aren't so great at business, but they are really good investors. If you have a business that makes you a lot of money and you're a great investor, because those are 2 different things. The third way that you build wealth is influence. If you have influence and you can get attention, you're making money.
Look, I don't know what I'm supposed to say, but those things I absolutely agree with. Business freedom, financial freedom, and soul freedom. And I think that's where the influence comes from, the ability to persuade and influence others. So if you're really, really, really great at business, you're going to create a business where it's a cash generating machine. If you're really, really, really great at investing, you're going to get into 12 to 15 different assets that the leveraged residual income pays for your lifestyle. And if you've got the influence, the network, the power to persuade and influence others, you got an ability to adapt and innovate in the current marketplace to generate wealth.
Did a YouTube video on Dave Ramsey, and I was like, Dave talks about, no debt, all this crap because he got foreclosed on and went bankrupt. Yep. And I'm like, bro, there's a reason why you're Dave Ramsey today, because that happened to you.
So you learned.
Yeah. If you don't do that, you don't learn. And so it's like you have to go through that. Same thing for me. It's like, did I use my economics degree? No, I never got a real job. In baseball, I played for 8 seasons. I spent my entire 20s playing baseball. People are like, do I utilize anything from baseball today? No, I don't. My baseball doesn't really.
Specifically, yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't do anything today, but it taught me all the lessons. It built my character, my work ethic, my discipline to be what it is today. So I had to go through that.
Who you are today is who you've become through your past journey. I haven't ever had a chance to meet Ryan, but so far I really like what he has to say.
I love going head to head with some of my real estate friends because I'm like, how much money do you have to put down to get $100,000 in cash flow in your pocket a year? And for real estate, you got to have a big down payment and a hefty loan to get $100K. I mean, I read the average single family home rental makes about $600 a month, $400 to $600 a month. The average small business, while it can have a much higher failure rate and there's a lot more work, is going to 10x that if you buy it.
It's interesting because I realized this as my real estate career went on, right? Because when I first got into real estate, everyone and their mom was telling me, you want to own rental properties, you want to own rental properties. And I was like, I don't want to make $200 a month. What am I going to do with this? It's not going to change my life.
Exactly.
And so I was like, I have to flip. And so making $20K a month was definitely life-changing. And I'm like, this is great. Imagine if I did 5 of these, I can make $100K a month. And sure enough, that was what we did.
Look, I totally get what she's talking about. When I got into real estate, I was going to build financial freedom from owning real estate, which I love, by the way. I made a lot of money owning real estate. But if you look at how real estate grows, it grows up almost in a capital gains net worth style, which is really quite pointless in an economy like today. But what matters is cash flow, residual income that comes in over and over again. And if you're only getting a couple $100 from that monthly property, you might be growing in the long run over 10, 20 years in capital gains, and that's great, but you're not getting cash today. Whereas if you can either build a business or buy a business, and Ryan used the example of flipping homes. I personally don't love that. I think you could sell infopreneurship products or get into agent attraction and make $20,000, $60,000, $100,000 a month. I do think, though, what they're not talking about on that $20K a month, and he can do 5 and do $100,000 a month, they're not talking about the expenses. So there's a whole other skill set that comes into business, and that's managing that P&L statement. But I agree, make a business, just crush it, and then invest the profits and make one of those investments into real estate, because I love to buy and hold real estate, but it's where I hold my wealth. It's not where I build my wealth.
Life begins at 20 grand a month. If you're not making 20 grand a month, you're missing out because you're in what I call the race. You're just barely paying bills. You're not able to save enough to really make any difference. Every time you save a little, something comes up, fix your tire and do some stupid. But once you get up to 20 and then you live normal, well, now you got a little extra that can save and start really making some compound moves. If you're not out there making 20 grand a month, I'd suggest getting into wholesaling, getting into flipping, real estate of some kind. There's no excuse for people not making 20 G's.
I'm with you. 10 years ago, when I was 21 almost, trying to figure out what should I do to make money, this stuff didn't exist. People weren't getting paid to be YouTubers. There wasn't this e-commerce stuff. There wasn't wholesaling the way it is today where you can learn how to do it for free on YouTube. Anyone can do do it. 10 years ago, that wasn't the case. And so I did not make money 10 years ago. Most people didn't because it was like this hidden thing that only the gurus knew. But today, literally no one has excuse for why they can't make 20 grand a month.
I agree on the excuse of why you can't make 20 grand a month. It is an excuse today. You absolutely can, especially when you can create a product that you can go sell to others. I do disagree the fact that 10 years ago you couldn't learn how to wholesale, because I've been doing this shit for 10 years and I didn't learn it off of YouTube. So you can. Everything is about a transaction value. A flip, a wholesale, any of that's a transaction. Selling an infopreneur product, listing a home, represented by, it doesn't matter. They're all transactions, and that's how the economy works. Today, I think the number is 20 grand. I think if you went back into 10 years ago, 20 years ago, you could do it away with 10 to 15 grand a month. Definitely 20 years ago, 10 grand a month. But I don't know if you know this, but today, $20,000 is the same as $10,000 in the year 1993. So you can only have the same buying power. 20K, though, if you had that number coming in residual, that's what I found is $15,000 to $20,000 a month residually through agent attractions. That's selling info products or building your network at the company that you work with, like I'm Real Brokerage. Then that allows you to create some space and some freedom to where you can massively expand from there.
How much of Tesla does Elon Musk own? Last time I checked, it was like 10%. Elon Musk is the majority shareholder at Tesla at like 10%. Does Elon Musk like care that he doesn't own 100% of Tesla? No. He goes in, gets partners, raises equity, and he was able to grow Tesla into the biggest car company in the world in terms of value. In turn, he became the richest man in the world because he was willing to bring in new partners.
So there are 5 levels of rates of return: single digit, double digit, triple digit rate of return, quadruple digit, and then there's infinite digit. Really what Ryan's talking about here is an infinite digit rate of return, which is strategic partnership. He was able to raise capital, meaning Elon Musk raised capital from others, so that he had the capital to actually go grow a business. He took money that wasn't his, took some money that was his as well, put it into it, but in there he then grew it to where he is the richest man in the world, or roughly that today. Think in terms of infinite rates of returns or quadruple digit rate of returns, and watch your money and your wealth grow.
What is the 70 plus 70 equals 140?
I think when you're running a bunch of businesses, what ends up happening at first is you panic and you try to do everything. And then you hire somebody and that person doesn't do it as well as you. And so you're like, well, I have to fire them because they're not as good as I am. 70-70 is anytime I have an employee that's at least a 70% solution for me, I will think to add another employee to get to 140 instead of me being the 100% solution.
Yeah, it's way better.
And most operators don't think that way. They get really upset that people can't do it as well as them. And that should never be part of your equation. As long as you have 70% of you, you actually have an A-plus player.
I think it's a great rule. I haven't followed it before, but I think I'm going to start following it. Is the idea that people won't do it as good as you is true for the most part, but there are actually people in my company that do it better than I could in a specific thing. So I think you can hire a team incredible people. At the same time, though, there are going to be things, especially in the selling side, they're just not going to do as well as you at first. And so get 2 of them. I love that solution. All right. I'd love to hear your comments down below. I guess read your comments. Go ahead and turn on those notifications, smash the like button, and share this video to someone else. I think the reason why it makes sense to share it is because we're in an interesting space in the world economy today. And if we can awaken within more people that they can take charge and create financial freedom or business freedom and ultimately soul freedom, right? What are those? Business freedom is work because I choose to, not because I have to. It's a cash generating machine. And based on what we saw today, the common theme is to get 20K a month of residual income inside your business. Take those profits and move it into the second piece that Ryan spoke about and really was coined by the godfather of books in this space, Robert Kiyosaki, Rich Dad Poor Dad, is the investor quadrant, where you're moving profit into assets, and that creates another level of residual revenue that pays for your lifestyle. And then the third, which is most important to me, is what I call soul freedom. That's having more joy and experience and less stress and anxiety, but you're really developing the skills and what Ryan coined it as being an influencer, to be able to influence and persuade others for a better life. So smash the like button, comment, and share. And let me see your comments down below, and we'll see you later.